This is a Galaxy Watch Ultra, Samsung's most premium smartwatch yet, and then this is the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, Samsung's latest smartwatch release, except it's got a slightly lower price tag, a rotating bezel, and virtually the same specs as the Galaxy Watch Ultra, so which one should you get? So let's talk about battery life. The Galaxy Watch 8 Classic will typically give me just under 2 days of battery life, which by comparison is a bad day for the Galaxy Watch Ultra. The Galaxy Watch Ultra will reliably give me between 1.9 days and 2.5 days of battery life. The battery drain during nighttime is very similar between the two watches. Both the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic and the Galaxy Watch Ultra will typically lose the same 6 to 8% of battery life during a night of sleep tracking from 100%. But the battery drain on the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic during a typical day of activity seems to go down much faster than the Galaxy Watch Ultra. Now, this should come as no surprise, as the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic has a 445 mAh battery, whilst the Galaxy Watch Ultra has a much larger 590 mAh battery, which is nice, but does it really matter in the real world? After a year with the Galaxy Watch Ultra and then switching straight over to the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic for a couple of months of thorough testing, I have to say that extra half day of battery life really does make all of the difference. With the Galaxy Watch Ultra, I just know that I can rely on it to get me through that second night of sleep tracking, but with the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, it frequently loses charge during that second night, which is just so frustrating. That being said, can the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic scrape back some points when it comes to charging? Charging speeds is a really interesting one. Both watches come with 10-watt wireless charging, but the Galaxy Watch Ultra takes just over an hour and 40 minutes to charge from 0 to 100%. The Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, on the other hand, will be done in just less than an hour and a half. Now, you might think that is now an obvious point to the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, but honestly, in the real world, those sorts of differences in charging speeds really do make no difference whatsoever to me. What made the difference to me was the longer battery life from the Galaxy Watch Ultra. What I will say though is that both watches definitely need faster charging in the future. Overall, there is a very clear winner for the battery life and charging section, and it is the Galaxy Watch Ultra, but how does the Galaxy Watch Ultra fare when it comes to comfort and design? Now, this section is completely subjective, of course, but I do think there are some areas where one watch does come out on top. Now, this year, Samsung have completely redesigned the back of the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic. It now sits much closer to your skin, and they've also redesigned the lug system as well. It's just in comparison to the Galaxy Watch Ultra, which is supposedly less innovative, those watch straps actually click into place a lot easier than the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic. So in the real world, does this redesign actually make a difference? And for me, the answer is no. If we hyper focus on the lug system and the backs of both smartwatches, the Galaxy Watch Ultra and the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic really don't feel that much different from one another. What of course does make a difference is the size and weight of the watches. Now, with the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, I'll be honest and say that that does fit on my wrist a lot better. It is probably a little bit more comfortable, and it's certainly less bulky and heavy than the Galaxy Watch Ultra. But the thing is, the Galaxy Watch Ultra isn't actually uncomfortable by any means. I actually sleep in this absolutely fine, and I wouldn't go as far to swap the Galaxy Watch Ultra for the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic. That being said, if we had to give a point to one smartwatch purely based off comfort, it would have to go to the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic. But when we come to design, I really don't think the answer is quite as simple. The Galaxy Watch 8 Classic is smaller and lighter, yes, but it's at risk of being too small. The Galaxy Watch Ultra is obviously much larger, it's more rugged, and it's got a more sturdy feeling about it. But if you want that more classic, elegant look, then you're gonna have to go for the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic. But here's the thing, the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic actually doesn't feel expensive or luxurious at all. The Galaxy Watch Ultra, on the other hand, does feel premium, it feels sturdy, and it feels special. But then, of course, it loses out on that rotating bezel, which is not only a design choice, but it's actually a practical asset if you're a swimmer. My preference on the design category is the Galaxy Watch Ultra, but I'm actually gonna let you guys decide, which do you prefer, the Galaxy Watch Ultra or the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic's design? Now, there is one more category where the size of the smartwatches sort of bleeds into, and that's the display. The Galaxy Watch 8 Classic and the Galaxy Watch Ultra both have really impressive 3000 nit displays this year. It's just the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic is much smaller and at risk of losing some points for practicality. The Galaxy Watch Ultra has a much larger display, and I'd argue it's much easier to read at a quick glance and therefore more practical. So if I had to pick one watch to give a display point to, it'd be the Galaxy Watch Ultra. But can the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic scrape back some points when it comes to performance? Both watches are now running One UI 8, and both watches have the new vascular load feature and antioxidant tracking. But if you have the older Galaxy Watch Watch Ultra, you'll notice that you've only got 32 gigabytes of onboard storage, whilst the newer Galaxy Watch 8 Classic has 64 gigabytes by standard. Other than that, you'll get exactly the same processor and the very same 2 gigabytes of RAM on both smartwatches, and to be honest, performance feels virtually identical across the two watches, the only difference being if you go ahead and stuff your older Galaxy Watch Ultra full of watch faces, you're going to notice a slowdown much quicker. Based off this though, although performance is virtually identical on both smartwatches, and even if you have the newer Galaxy Watch Ultra, you will also have 64 gigabytes of onboard storage, we actually have to give the point to the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic here purely because you get more performance for your money. Now, accuracy wise, I've got to be honest, I've got a soft spot for the Galaxy Watch Ultra. It's helped me lose a ton of weight and get much faster at running, but let's be clinical about this. Now, I want to start off by talking about the ages index. Now, on the Galaxy Watch Ultra, it stayed incredibly high despite losing a lot of weight and getting significantly fitter over the past year. Ages is a lagging indicator, but it should really have gone down. And one thing that I noticed when I switched to the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic is that it shot right down as soon as I started wearing this watch. And surprise, surprise, when I put the Galaxy Watch Ultra back on, it actually shot straight back up again. So on the ages front, there's definitely a big difference between the two smartwatches in how they're reading that data, but I kind of want to give the edge to the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic there. But overall, there's still a bit more to say. Let's move on to GPS now. Hardware-wise, both use dual-band GPS. Pre-One UI, my Galaxy Watch Ultra was rock solid. Since the update though, both watches occasionally over-report their distance. Heart rate accuracy wise, both have been again really dependable, and yes, we can take it into a lab and compare it to medical grade equipment, but what really matters for me from a consumer smartwatch is, can you rely on this data? And you can clearly see that I've made incredible gains again in my fitness and my running purely based off the data that these smartwatches have been giving me. There's not really any complaints for either of them on the heart rate front. There was a slight difference when it updated to One UI 8. Things got a little bit muddled up around that point for both the Galaxy Watch Ultra and then on my Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, but it all does seem to have sorted itself out now and it seems a lot more reliable again. When it comes to picking an accuracy winner, you kind of want to give the point to the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic. It does sit flatter on your skin and does allegedly give you more accurate results. The thing is, it's just from a real world perspective, I can't really see a difference other than the ages index between the two smartwatches, but I guess if we're being fair, we really do have to give the point to the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic because of the ages hiccup. But other than that, I just have to say with both watches, they've both been really reliable and they've both done a really good job for me. Now, smart features wise, both watches are exactly the same. Both watches come with Google Gemini now, which is such a powerful feature. And then you can do things like make and receive calls, reply to text messages, and if you're that way inclined, you could even control things like your washing machine or your TV from your wrist via SmartThings. Both watches are also running Wear OS, which means you get access to the Play Store, which means thousands of different third-party apps. No watch really comes out on top here. We also get the very same health features like your energy score, your sleep score, and then the newer antioxidant tracking and vascular load we talked about earlier. Both watches also come with body composition, which is such a unique feature for a smartwatch and a really powerful one at that. But can one watch really take the crown here? I'd argue again that the Galaxy Watch Ultra kind of wins by default here. It's got a much larger display, so therefore it's easier to use these smart features and make use of all of these apps. So purely based off my preferences, I'd have to give the edge to the Galaxy Watch Ultra, but purely based off specs, you could argue that the newer Galaxy Watch 8 Classic takes the crown again because of that 64 gigabytes of storage, unless you have the newer 2025 Galaxy Watch Ultra. But overall, it's a very subjective thing, and really it doesn't matter. The watches are exactly the same in this category, so I'm actually going to call it a draw, to be fair. What's obviously not a draw though is durability and water resistance. This year the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic is stainless steel, while the Galaxy Watch Ultra is titanium, a tougher, lighter metal, and yes, it's also much pricier. Both use sapphire crystal on the display, both are IP68 for dust and water ingress, and both are tested to military standard 810H for shock, vibration, and temperature swings, but the actual water rating is where the gap opens up. The Galaxy Watch 8 Classic is rated to 5 ATM, so think pool swims, rain, showers, day-to-day stuff. The Galaxy Watch Ultra steps that up to 10 ATM, double the pressure rating, so it's happier in the open water swims, surfing, and generally rougher conditions. The Galaxy Watch Ultra is also more built around being a rugged, more durable watch, as opposed to the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, which has got a bit more of a delicate feel about it. So in simple terms, both are tough in their own right, but if you really want to be doing the saltwater swims and going out to really exotic places, the Galaxy Watch Ultra definitely definitely has the edge there. So 1 point to the Galaxy Watch Ultra for durability. So which smartwatch should you buy, the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic or the Galaxy Watch Ultra? And I'm going to start off by saying that really the differences between the two watches are not that drastic at all, but you might be one of two buyers. If you are someone who is thinking of upgrading from the Galaxy Watch Ultra to the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, I'd say do it with caution, and I don't think that you want that classical design and rotating bezel as much as you think you do. You probably will notice the difference in battery life if you are upgrading, or I suppose even downgrading, from the Galaxy Watch Ultra to the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic. Now, if you're someone who is kind of new to the Galaxy Watch ecosystem, or possibly upgrading from a much older Galaxy Watch, then I really don't think the choice matters quite as much. It really could be something as simple as a design that makes you go from one over the other. All I'd say is that I prefer the Galaxy Watch Ultra. I think that is the better of the two watches, and I think if you look at some deals online, you'll actually find that the 2024 Galaxy Watch Ultra is actually a little bit cheaper than the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, and therefore, in my opinion, a much better deal. I think the Galaxy Watch Ultra is just going to last a little bit longer, and I think once you actually get your hands on the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, it's kind of hard to put into words, but I don't think you're going to like it as much as you think you like it from the advertising. That being said, I really didn't have a bad experience with the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic. You can check out my full review in the top left-hand corner of that, or I've just dropped my 1 year later review on the 2024 Galaxy Watch Ultra in the top right corner now. See you soon.